He is the former #4 pick in the draft, a 13-year NBA veteran, a former Spur, and San Antonio's Radio Personality of the Year, which makes Antonio Daniels an official member of the media.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Welcome to Sports Sunday.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
so we're talking NBA Finals. We're talking everything basketball, everything Spurs. Let's start with the Finals. And let's start with the Golden State Warriors, the best team in the league all year. Have you ever seen anybody with a release like Steph Curry?
No. I honestly do think Steph Curry is the best shooter of all time.
Wow, already.
I do. For a number of different reasons. All the other guys that you put in this category were specialists. So you think of like a Steve Kerr or a Craig Hodges or a John Paxson. These guys were specialists. So they had other guys that could set them up. Steph Curry is great at getting his own shot by himself. So to have his ability to be able to handle the ball and shoot the ball like he does, I do think he's the best shooter of all time.
Now that you do a daily talk radio show, you get a chance to hear a lot of opinions from local sports fans. You obviously know the hate for LeBron.
Yes.
I don't know where you fall in admiration for him, but the fact that he's gone to 5 straight finals and this one with some real spare parts, kind of where do you fall and his take on what he's doing?
Well, for me, LeBron ended my season 5 straight years. 5 straight years in a row. And, you know, people have always knocked LeBron for a number of different things. He had to go to Miami to get a super team. You know, he couldn't win in Cleveland, so he had to do, and he is putting all that to rest. Because now he's winning with role players. He's winning with a unhealthy Kyrie Irving, a injured Kevin Love, and role players. Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, Miles Goff, Iman Shumpert, Dellavedova. That's impressive. Like, you have to give the man his credit for what he's doing.
And now
really
people would say, yeah, but he doesn't do it in the West.
Yeah,
I mean, there's always something with LeBron.
It's always going to be something. Well, you know what? Jordan would have did it different.
Right.
You know, and they're not the same player. You always hear those two guys compared to one another. Michael Jordan and LeBron James are two completely different players.
Let's move on to the Spurs. Of course, your friend Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili have yet to make their decisions of coming back. I'm almost certain Tim Duncan comes back. I'm not sure about Manu. What's your take on Timmy and Manu?
With Manu, I don't know. You know, right now they're at 2 different levels, you know, as far as their production is concerned. Tim was great this year. Not to take anything away from not to take anything away from Manu, but you know, Tim he's making Father Time chase him, which is awesome. I hope he comes back. I do. I hope he's coming back. I don't know if he's coming back, but you know, realistically, when is the best chance to retire? When's the best time to retire?
I don't think you retire when you're one of the top 15 players in the league.
I know, but you know what we always say is retire when you're on top. And if he retired when he was on top, that would have been last year, and we wouldn't have seen the Tim Duncan that we saw this year. So, you know, for him, I know he wants to do what's best for him, his children, his family, and that's a decision. It's a huge decision. It's a tough decision to come to. Whatever he decides to do, I'm behind him 100%.
I got to be honest here. I find it hard to believe that, both those guys haven't made their decision, and all due respect here, B, you don't know Tim's decision. If this man was going to retire, I've known this guy for 25 years, I'd know if he was going to retire.
He knows. He's just smart. He's not
No, I don't know. I do not know.
Come on.
Dave, you are putting me on the spot. I do not know.
But,
I don't know.
But do you think they've already made?
Do
you think they've made the decision?
No.
Really?
No. I mean, you constantly go back and forth. You know, I remember when I retired, that's one of the toughest decisions I've ever had to come to. And it's not something that you don't, that's the thing I respect about what Manu Ginobili did. He didn't make an emotional decision, say, you know what, I struggled in the against the Clippers. You know what, I'm done. No, he said, you know what, I'm going to go home, I'm going to talk it over with my family, I'm going to spend time with my kids, and then decide what I'm going to do. So it's a decision that takes time. It's not something that you just jump right into doing.
I think one reason the Spurs want those guys to stick around is to kind of bridge to a new culture. A lot of talk about free agents, a lot of talk about big guys they may go after. And everybody's talking about Marc Gasol, LaMarcus Aldridge, but you say there's another name they should be considering.
I would love to see DeAndre Jordan here.
Just to teach him free throws.
I mean, hey, if you can look at a guy and say his biggest weakness is his free throw shooting, it's great.
Freak athlete.
Right. A guy that can dominate the game without having the ball in his hands, you don't have to adjust your offense and cater it to him.
let's talk this, though. If he is going to stay in L.A., which a lot of people think he's going to, of Gasol or Aldridge, one of them's a better player now, one of them has a longer future. Which one would you go with?
For me?
Yeah.
Me personally, I would go with Gasol.
That's what it looks like the Spurs.
Yeah, I would like Gasol. I mean, not to take anything away from LaMarcus Aldridge because he's a great player in his own right, but with Gasol, you get a guy who plays the 5. So now you get an opportunity to kind of save Tim. You know, he gets to play a lot of the 4 guys. You bring in LaMarcus Aldridge, Tim has to bang with Dwight Howard and try and keep DeAndre Jordan and some of these bigger guys off the glass, bang with a Marc Gasol. So you get a guy like Marc Gasol in here who is his ability to pass the ball, move the basketball, and step out and shoot 15 to 20 footers, him and Tim will be great for each other.
Real quickly, how good are Pop and RC at selling a guy and bringing them in?
You know, that's difficult because San Antonio's never been in this position. Yeah. This is a different position for San Antonio. The other day we talked about who was the best free agent San Antonio's ever signed. If you think about it, it's probably Richard Jefferson.
Yeah.
You know, and he wasn't
when
in the category.
Right,
and he wasn't in the category of the guys that we are discussing now.
Max.
So, you know, think about RC and Pop. They're brilliant at what they do. They do their due diligence on scouting and bringing in guys. Pop is a visionary. He sees things in players that other people can't see. You know, just think of how late Tony Parker went. Look at how late Manu Ginobili went. Look at Kawhi Leonard and how he turned out. So they do their due diligence on their scouting and bringing guys in to fit their system and culture.
I'll tell you what, there's something that's been a tradition here for many, many years. That's the Antonio Daniels basketball camp. I don't know how many years it is now, but it's one of the
14?
14 years. It's a great camp, and you're getting ready to do it again.
I am. I love it. I'm excited about it. I am passionate about this. This is something I look forward to doing every summer. And it's crazy because I come down here and I see kids like, oh, you know what? I went to your camp years ago, and these kids have beards and they have children and everything. But it's something I truly enjoy. I'm there every day. I open camp with prayer. I close camp with prayer.
Best part of it.
I am heavily involved in this because I'm passionate about it and love to do it.
Well, we're going to put a graphic up right now. If you want to go to the Antonio Daniels basketball camp, it's June 8th through the 12th. They're holding it over at Cornerstone Christian School. Boys and girls all welcome, ages 7 to 17. And if you want more info, just go to www.danielsfamilyfoundation.com. They have all the information there on the costs and how to sign up and all that. AD, great stuff, man. You're the radio personality. You can hear AD on his show, The Hard Line, ESPN 1250, 12 to 2 every single day. As always, appreciate you, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Antonio Daniels, our insider.